So I am here with Grant, who has been in the Business Builder program for a while. One thing I like about you is that you actually go to the meetings, and we talk about this. I'll let you introduce yourself in a second, but we talk about this in the program where the more you go to the sessions, the more money you tend to make, and the more successful you tend to be. So you're one of the people. That's why I'm talking to you that did it. We like to brag about you and how much money you've made, but why don't we start? Why don't you introduce yourself and talk about where you were before you joined the program?
Of course. So hi, my name is Grant Judd. Before I joined this program, I was in software sales. I've been in and around the sales space for the best part of 20 years. And I really, really wanted to start my own business. That was one of my life ambitions. But every time I thought of, is this a great business idea? Immediately I'd start thinking, no, this is never going to work. And you get to that phase where you think of all these ideas and you constantly tell yourself it's never going to work. And you don't know why you're constantly telling yourself this.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, I came across your, I can't, do you know, for the life of me, I can't remember how I came across you. It might have been on someone's video log, like podcasting on YouTube. And I read your book and it immediately made sense to me. The whole, obviously your libertarian views and also the way how you run your business and the lifestyle. And then it was just a case when I found out you do a 90-day business builder course, I was like, actually, yeah, this makes sense. This is something I definitely want to try. So yeah, that's my story.
And so to be clear, for people watching, you have never started a business in your entire life, correct? Or is that incorrect?
No,
No.
no,
This is the
never
first business you've
started.
ever started.
This is the first business I've ever started. Yeah,
So you've been an employee your whole career.
yeah, my entire career. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then you joined the program, and then I don't remember, did you struggle with your niche and struggle with what to do? Because I do remember way back, you were a little nervous on some of the sessions. I do remember that.
Yeah,
So I don't remember what parts you struggled with, or did you?
so with regards to niche, the niche, I came up with a niche and I wasn't sure is this a niche or not. And when we sat down on the team call, you immediately said, no, that's definitely a niche. And I was like, yeah, this is brilliant. I've done it. Then the struggle was that first niche that I came up with. I just couldn't engage with anyone. I really struggled to engage with people. And I later found out that as a niche, they have no issues and they couldn't be bothered to talk to me. And
Oh,
when
you
I
had one of
spoke,
those. Okay.
yeah, so but the thing, what again, this is what's great about the course. When I spoke to the other guys on the course, we all sat down on a group call and they said, look, Grant, don't pivot massively away from that niche. Try and find a niche within the niche, which until you do on the course, you probably won't understand this, whoever's listening. But immediately I found a better niche. And within a week, I'd had 14 conversations with business owners, immediately found consensus. And then that's when like it started to like take off for me.
And describe the niche in simplistic terms, the one you're working with now.
Yeah, so the niche itself is I'm focusing on domiciliary care companies in the UK that provide really end of life healthcare to people in their homes. That's the niche.
That's it. And we talk a lot in the program about we like healthcare in terms of an industry because healthcare is going to be an explosive growth industry in the next 25 years, especially any healthcare related to people getting older. And that's exactly what you did. So great. No wonder you're making money. This is great.
I
Okay.
listen to your advice.
Yeah. So then you went into that niche. I remember helping you. You worked a lot with Jeff, and
Yeah,
I
loads.
remember, yeah, and I remember. Well, I might be getting ahead of myself because you wrote up a few proposals. I remember that part.
Yeah, and
You're smiling. What? So
they were
talk about
all
that for a minute.
absolute
When you first
rubbish.
started approaching people for business. So
Oh yeah.
did you get your first few clients from people, those 14 people you talked to during the research, or were those new people you talked to?
These are completely new people.
Complete new people.
So
Okay.
so yeah, so what I did, I engaged with business owners and I found that the majority of the niche had this massive challenge about generating revenue. They were really struggling. Um, but they weren't on kind of death's door. They were
Okay.
struggling, but they
They're
were still
struggling, but they were
desperate.
still
Yeah.
surviving. Okay.
But what I quickly found out was a lot of the niche that I'm focused on, domiciliary care companies, they genuinely really struggle to generate revenue, especially in the private care sector. So the bulk of their revenue comes from local authorities, if you're in the UK, you're probably going to find out soon that local authorities are about to go bust, and
Yeah.
the winning private care is critical, and they just don't know how to do it. So immediately I found a really, really strong problem within a niche, and that kind of coincided with my background, which has been sales and marketing for the best part of 20 years. So immediately I was up and running. So yeah, I came up with a few solutions, and they were all absolute rubbish. But this is another benefit of the course. You get expertise telling you, Grant, this isn't going to work. This is why it's rubbish, and you go back to the drawing board. But you also get a lot of help and guidance. And then over time, the solution has evolved as well. The more you engage with the niche, and the more you uncover the kind of the peels, the layers of the onion, you find more and more challenges, and all of a sudden you kind of your service will evolve. It's just natural. It's going to evolve.
Right. Right. And that's typical people who make money in the program is they start here, but they start making money. It's a slightly different place, which is exactly what you
Yeah.
went through. That's perfect. Yeah. And that's very normal. So let's talk about your first few clients. So you got your first client, and I won't tell that story. You tell that story. You made money, but then you had some trouble. Go ahead.
Yeah, the first client right. So that was, if you think of the timeline. So I started the course in January, and then it was like 3 months. That would have been April, May, June. I had to take about a month out of the program because we had a family we had a family loss, and we also had holidays booked as well. But it wasn't critical in terms of, if you're not on the course, you're going to get kicked off. It was a case of, I updated you guys. You were like,
Yeah, let's address that really quick. I forgot about that about you. Right. So you had a family emergency in the course, and did you talk to Jeff and say, hey, I have an emergency? What happened there? How did we manage that?
Yeah, it's awful news. My father-in-law passed away, and I just updated Jeff, and Jeff was like, take as much time as you want out of the course. There's no issues at all. But also, like, you've got a life in the background. So my fiance and I and our son, we had holidays booked as well. And it's like,
Oh,
I'm
got
not
it.
going to be
Okay.
here. I'm not going to be here for this date. And it's just the fact you update you, like Jeff and the rest of the coaches, everyone's absolutely sound about it. It's like, don't worry, like they record every session, so you can always catch up with the sessions at any time. So yes, that's basically what happened. So if you take into account, in terms of the timeline, yeah, I landed my first client. It was just outside the 90 days. So that's the point I was trying to make. You said that from the start, you're going to generate revenue in 90 days. Yeah, I can guarantee, if you follow the program and do everything the coaches tell you, you will make money in or around 90 days. You can do it. It's definitely achievable.
So even with this problem, you still eventually got that first client. It's your third client that I want to talk about. The
of
big
course.
one.
Okay.
But
Yes,
let's lead up to it. So your first client was 5,000 pounds
yeah.
for the
So
contract.
what was, in terms of the solution, what I found was that my solution was resonating, but the pricing was a challenge. And again,
Yeah, I remember that with you. I remember the pricing. You were concerned
yeah,
about the pricing. Yes.
and people were like really interested, but it's like, Grant, this is too much. And obviously, there's that kind of trust problem as well. Like, who is this guy? So what I did, I broke the pricing into installments, and immediately I landed my first client by doing that. And
Cool.
I sat down and had really good in-depth discovery sessions with them, went off and built them a growth strategy to design how they're going to attack their region and generate revenue. And unfortunately, what the client never told me, and when I checked the company's house records, this person didn't seem to exist, but they brought in another director. And when I was doing the feedback session with the growth strategy and telling them what to do, the client who hired me was like, yeah, this is great. This is what we need to do. He was kiboshing. He was 50 minutes late to an hour-long call, and then he kiboshed everything I said.
Yeah.
And I tried to re-engage with them
I've been through it.
get the next phases. And yeah, you take it personally, but then obviously when I spoke to the coaches, they go, Grant, don't take that personally at all. You just dealt with the wrong client.
Has nothing to do with you.
And so then I changed the solution ever so slightly the next time, and I went in more for a coaching type of session to help dom care, to see if this would work. Dom care companies who are still trying to find their first clients, and that resonated really well. But the problem I was finding was that if you've got 20 years sales and marketing experience, trying to get like pass that knowledge on to people who say like ex-nurses or ex-carers themselves is actually really, really, really challenging. So I tried it with one client, and it was felt like I was pulling my teeth out half the time. It was just painful. And I think she's gone off, and the confidence that she had when I first met her, she was null and void. Within 3 sessions, she's up and running, and yeah, she's doing stuff. But I just don't want to do that anymore. So then I landed, same way, when it comes to my third client.
So wait. Let's go back to the first client.
Yeah, sorry,
So
go on.
first
Yeah.
client, let's talk about numbers. So correct me if I'm wrong. First client, the contract you sold was for £5,000, right?
Yeah.
That was the contract, which
Yeah.
I'm going to adjust for US dollars for you Americans. So $5,000, that is $6,500 for a contract.
Yeah.
That's his first client. Okay, but
Yeah.
that contract didn't last because this director thing. So
Yeah.
how much did you get paid in your pocket
I
before
got so I got paid up front, and it was about £1,600. I'm not sure what that's in
£1,600.
dollars.
So
So
£1,600 is $2,000 in your pocket.
yeah,
And then the next two payments, they just kind of ghosted you, right?
yeah. So they're ghosting me. But then
So-
again, look, we don't know what's to happen because it's August in the UK, and the whole of the UK seems to come to a standstill. They might come back. I'm not holding my breath.
Right, not hold your breath. So now here's an important question. Did you say I was supposed to get £5,000? I only got 1,600. This sucks. This doesn't work. I'm going to go back to my job.
No, God, no. No.
Okay, good. So you
No,
proceeded,
not
and then
at
you
all.
got your second client, which was a smaller client, and that
Yeah.
was more of a coaching thing.
Yeah,
right?
that was £777 for free coaching.
£777. So let's convert that to dollars. That's another $1,000 in your pocket. So now you got $3,000 in your pocket from these two oddball clients. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you get your third client, which is I'm excited about. So tell me about that.
Yes, the third client. But so one of the things you're going to learn on the course, and this is something that I've never even thought about, but part of the program is you find where your niche are online. Okay, so are your niche on LinkedIn? Are your niche on Instagram? Are your niche doing wherever? It just so happens my niche seems to live on Facebook, and I've never used Facebook for anything other than wishing people happy birthday and posting the odd picture.
Yeah.
So I sat down with Jeff and I said, Jeff, I'm not sure about this. There's 60,000 people in my niche in this one group. And he was like, Grant, you're an idiot. Get on that group now and start engaging with people. And lo and behold, every deal I've had has come via Facebook.
Really? I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I engaged with this person on Facebook. They said, Grant, yeah, we're pretty desperate. Can we have a call? I sat down with them, had a really, really good discovery session, pitched them, and then 48 hours later, they paid me the first installment for the program.
I didn't know this. Within 48 hours of the first call, they paid you the first installment.
Yeah.
And that was how much? How many pounds?
That was so the total contract value is £30,000.
£30,000.
Which in dollars, I'm not sure.
And dollars, that is that's $40,000. So his third client, and within just a few, if you don't count the part of the program where you were not in the program temporarily because your problems, your holidays, your third client is it's $39,000 US, and you don't get all at once. It's an installment thing. So your first installment was how much? Is it monthly installments?
Yeah, it's £2,500.
6,500 or no, 2,500.
Sorry, it's 2,500.
So that is $3,300, and is that monthly?
Yes, they're going to be paying me monthly, but obviously there is a risk they could walk away, they could ghost me. But learning from the prior two customers, the solution already is so much stronger.
I know that we just talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I built a growth strategy for them, and I've learned from all the mistakes I made in the first client. You know, I've added things in. I've done so much more to make this look like a proper professional document. I've uncovered problems that really desperately they need to resolve, or they're going to probably go under. So they're getting a lot of value for my time, and I'm very positive they're going to carry on that relationship. But yeah, I did it in installments. The reason why is because no one knows me. There's that trust element. And I know that by doing installments, customers do feel they've still got some sort of.
And I will tell you for a fact, knowing you, is that the next client you get, you can be more aggressive about the installments and getting much more upfront. Instead of a year, you can do 6 months. You can do a big balloon payment up front. I mean, you and I can talk about that offline, but
yeah,
the next client you get is going to be way more than this. So right now you're getting £2,500 a month, which is $3,300 a month. That's from just your third client after you already made 3,000.
Yeah.
And with you, one or two more clients like this, you're making some really good money. And so this is
Yeah.
just, and again, I want to repeat, those of you watching, this is your first business, right? And
Yeah,
you're able to
certainly
do this.
first business.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first business. Is the whole program is definitely the right. This model suits me. There's no. It removes all of the risks. So sometimes you can think of starting a business. You think, oh, that's going to cost me a few £100,000 to do, and you're going to pump all your money into these assets like an IT system of some sort, or building an app. It won't work. This is the right way to do it. Find a niche, find the problem, solve the problem. Oh, sorry, find the niche, find the problem, get consensus, solve that problem. You will be up and running.
How much money did you spend total on, outside of Business Builder? How much money did you spend on the business total, do you think, to get these 3 clients?
Oh Jesus! Well, not much, because all
Yeah,
the prospects
give me a rough
are-
estimate. How much money did you spend total on everything? It's
Oh
probably a pretty
Jesus!
low number.
I mean, even the website. That was the most challenging part about the program, was the website for me. I've never built a website before.
Oh, okay.
That's what took the longest part.
Oh, okay,
Um,
interesting. I know that.
and when I spoke to a friend
How
of
much
mine,
that cost you? How much did all the infrastructure cost
funny
you?
enough,
What do you,
once my mate told me how to do it, he said, Grant, don't design and build, design the website and get someone on Upwork to build it for you.
yeah,
He found someone for me for like 30, 40 quid. Like that. So in
30,
dollars, that's
40
what,
bucks.
50,
Yeah. So
50
yeah.
bucks,
So
right?
maybe 60, 70 bucks.
This is it.
Yeah.
And so I got a website after following his advice in a week, right? Which should have taken me a month. I've been in an
Right.
absolute car crash, tearing my hair out. And then I bought a Microsoft 365 license for about £100. That's it.
That's it. So
Yeah.
maybe but all in, it's well less than 300 pounds.
Oh yeah, well less. And then obviously the cost of the course. So I've made back
Yeah.
the
Outside the cost of the
course.
course, right? You have the
Yeah.
cost of the course. And then, because sometimes people ask me that, they'll say, well, I have to sign up for your program. Well, then how much do I have to invest in my business? And my standard answer is less than $300 unless you want to run ads. Now let's mention that really quick. You didn't run any ads. You didn't pay for any advertising. You didn't do any of that stuff, correct? Or am I wrong?
I haven't done any advertising at all. That's not part of the. It will probably come in time when I've got the money in the business to do that. But at the moment, it's just simple bootstrapping the business, engaging with people. Fortunately, I found you're going to find, if people are listening in, you are going to find places where your niche are, and it makes it a lot more easy to engage directly. Now, obviously, depending on the niche you're going after, it might be it might be pretty painful. Like sometimes for me, I get people reach out to me, book meetings, and don't show. That's painful.
Yeah.
But if you've found a more professional niche, people aren't going to behave like that. So you don't need to do like loads and loads of advertising. There's no need for it.
This is great. Very happy about this. Final thoughts on the program. What are your thoughts about the program? What would you say to others? People who are on the fence. So there are people who definitely want to do this. There are people who say, I'm never going to do this. And there's people who are on the fence. I want to do this, but I'm not sure. What would you say to that person?
I'd say it's the best investment you'll make. It's the best investment I've made in my professional career.
It is? This is the best investment you've made in your professional career.
Oh yeah, definitely the best investment I've made. I've been I'm fortunate in my career. I've been sent on sales training courses, IT training courses. Done stupid IT certifications that I've never needed. This is an investment that gets you running your own business. And if you just think about it for a second, if you're in the corporate world and you make £100,000 or dollars is different, but you make £100,000, you pay predominantly about 40% tax, a little bit less because you're on like a scale, right? You get paid 100,000, you make 60, right? The tax man takes it all, right? Or a large proportion. When you run your own business, you're paying what, maybe 20% tax on that income?
20% or less, yeah.
Yeah, right. So you've made more, you're working your own hours, and to make £100,000 in your own business isn't as challenging sometimes, or isn't normally as challenging as it is to work in the corporate world.
Correct.
You
It
don't have to
takes
deal with
less
internal.
hours to earn the same amount of after-tax income.
Oh yeah, big time. And also it's a lot more enjoyable. And like, obviously being on this course as well, you're surrounded by people that are in the same boat. Like today, I was stuck on something. I reached out on Basecamp. Within 2 minutes, two people from different parts of the world, one in Australia, one in London, they immediately responded back to help me. Right. So you've also got that network that you can call on. So that's what I'm saying. It's like definitely the best investment I've made. I've always wanted to start my own business. So I was up, bit unsure. Now that I've done it, I thought, actually, I've done it. I've started something. I've generated revenue. You can't take that away from me. Okay. So yeah, I'd say anyone who's on the fence, just do it. For the price of this course, it's a fraction of doing, say, like a professional accreditation, like, some sort of IT software accreditation or even a sales training course. This is really transferable. This is like a life-changing type investment, not some crappy corporate accreditation. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
and
mean?
yeah,
Do you remember
and
back in
we
the day,
see
you
that.
probably saw the MCSE. Do you ever remember that?
Oh yeah, I almost did it. I almost did the
Okay, so
MCS back
you
in the
think about it,
90s.
that was
Yes.
that was for Microsoft technology, which isn't very
Yeah.
good,
And that
and
was
it goes
eight,
out
nine
of date.
thousand dollars in 1990s dollars. That was a lot of money.
But then it goes out of date every couple of years.
Right.
So yeah, it's a no-brainer, like for me
Yeah,
anyway.
Billy in the program has talked a lot about how this is a one-time thing, one-time set of skills you master, and for the rest of your life, you're going to be making money. You'll make more money through your clients you get in your business. Then you can start your second business and do it again and do it again and do it again. You'll need to learn this stuff once. Cool.
Yeah, I can agree with that 100%.
Great. Well, thank you very much. This has been great.
Anytime.
Thanks.
Cool.